Hello everyone, welcome back to Ramon at Home. I'm so excited you're here today because in today's video I'm going to share with you elegant Christmas DIYs that are super fun, easy to make, and a budget. I know that you guys love these decorating ideas for Christmas, and trust me when I tell you I love sharing them with you. So I'm super excited to bring you not only a centerpiece, a mantel garland, and also a wreath for your front door. They are super easy to make, and I know that if I can do it, so can you, and that's why I'm gonna give you step-by-step instructions. So if you are interested in how to create beautiful Christmas DIYs for your home this season, please stay tuned. Don't forget to like this video and share with your friends because it is free and it really helps this channel. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Now, when you subscribe, don't forget to turn the notification bell on because you will not want to miss the whole Christmas season here at Ramon at Home. Well, if you guys are ready, I'm gonna take you to the studio and I'm going to share with you a gorgeous centerpiece DIY that I really think you're going to like. Let's take a look. All right, everyone, so for our first Christmas DIY, what we're going to do is a gorgeous centerpiece arrangement with a cute little aisle. I found this aisle at the at-home store, and you guys are only 16 bucks, so they're super cute. So we're gonna be using one of these aisles. So I just went ahead and remove the tag because I sometimes forget about it. I'm also going to use this compote made out of silver plate that one of you, the viewers, brought me to the meet and greet. She actually brought me a whole box of a silver plate, and I just want to say thank you so much. I don't remember your name, but if you are watching this video, be sure to leave me a comment down below or send me a message on Instagram or Facebook because I do want to take you out to lunch in thanking you for all of this. I know that she's somewhere here in California, and I'm also going to use a block of this gray foam. I'm going to be using some white flowers. I'm gonna use some flocked picks that I got at the at-home store and some of these beautiful poinsettias from Walmart, as well as other variety of greeneries. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my foam down right here. I'm going to tape it with some of this clear tape. You can find this clear tape at any local craft store. I'm gonna do a crisscross. Then I'm going to clear right here and come back to give you the next step. So keep watching. All right, you guys, so what I'm doing is I got this pick at the at-home store and it was about $7. And so they come like this, and what you need to do is just run your scissors through real quick and try and get some of that paper. And so what you are gonna come up with is all of these loose picks that we're going to be using for our centerpiece to fill it up. So I'm going to do a second one and I'll be right back with you, so keep watching. All right, so the first step was to put our foam down, and so now that our foam is down and secure with our clear tape, what we're going to do is we're gonna find a spot to put our little owl. Now you wanna set it right there, and now what I'm gonna have you do is you're gonna grab a wire. This is an 18 gauge wire, it's very thick. So what we do in the industry is that we cut a wire in half, then we cut it in half again, or you can go to Hobby Lobby and get some S-pens, which I do have, but I don't know where they are right now. So, you know, this time of the year, I just have things everywhere. If you guys just could see the studio, you'd fall backwards. So this basically what you're going to do is you're gonna create an S-pen by cutting one long wire into four, and then you're gonna fold them into half. So it's kind of like a bobby pin, basically, what you're creating, but it has to be a really thick wire because we want to make sure that it holds our bird in place. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put that S hook between the little claws of my bird. I'm gonna go back and forth right here. I really don't need very many of them because this particular foam right here is a florist foam that is very dense, so it's going to be able to hold my bird in place. As you guys can see, I can lift up the whole thing from the bird and it's not gonna fall off because that's what those S-pins are going to do. All right, so now that I have my bird, what I want to start doing is I'm gonna start giving my arrangement some shape, and I'm gonna do with this really linear greenery, and I want it to be long and flowing, absolutely gorgeous. So I'm gonna start right here on the back like that, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one right here like that, and this is how thick it's going to be. I'm gonna save this one for the front because I want a longer one for the side, like this guy right here. This is going to define the shape of our arrangement. Look how long it is. And then I'm going to do this one right here on the back. And remember, what happens on the left happens on the right. So immediately what you want to do is go ahead and give it a spin and do the exact same thing on the other side. So basically what I'm going to do now is do the other one right here. And now I'm gonna go all the way around, and I'm going to repeat right here on the back like this. And this guy right here is going to serve as the height that I'm going to use. I don't want to pass this height because I don't want to lose my bird in all of the beautiful things that we're going to do. All right, so now I have this beautiful flat cedar I'm going to add. Remember, when you add your florals, be sure to give a little bit of a spin like that. That's gonna give us a lot of texture and a lot of dimension to our arrangement. Look at that. And you continue just to spin that arrangement like this. And remember that what happens on the left happens on the right, and to continue to spin your bouquet. And look at that. How absolutely cute is he already? All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring some of the thicker materials, and I'm going to start doing that right here. And I try to grab the same item at the time, so that way I can do my what happens on the left happens on the right. And this one's a little crooked, so I need to straighten it up like this. Look at that. How cute is he? So now I have this flocked one right here. I'm going to add this guy over on this side like that. And because I came this way, I'm going to go forward, but now I have to go a little bit lower to make sure I don't cover my bird like this. Let's see, what else do we have over here? Then we have all of this. That's one of the good things about taking your picks apart, because look at all the material you have to work with. Instead of just having one pick, you have so many that you can choose from. All right, so this one is the one that I was looking for, because I do want this one to be right here on the front like that. Look how fun. Okay, so now I'm gonna continue adding this flocked material right here. And at this point, you could glue it. If this is something you're doing for sale, then I recommend to grab every single stem and dip it into your pen glue, or you could also use your hot glue gun. And that is the question of the day. What do you like to use better, a hot glue gun, or do you like to use a hot glue pen? I am a big fan of the pen. However, it does leave a lot of strings, so I've learned to love to work with my hot glue gun, just because it is a little bit cleaner than it is with the hot glue pen. All right, so far so good. I'm now going to add some of these really cute items like this frosted eucalyptus, and I'm gonna put one right here, remembering that what happens on the left happens on the right, and we should have equal amounts because, well, because we put apart two of them. So that means if we had one on each, then we have two, and if we have two of each, then we have four. So what we need to do is just look for them, and this is what's gonna give us a little bit more texture, dimension. And we have these linear ones right here. Look how pretty this is. I'm gonna add one right here on the back, because remember we added this guy right here, so now I want to equal it out right here. And then I'm gonna add one to the front, but to the front I want to add it a little bit shorter. So now I'm going to go like this, then I'm gonna put it right here like that. And I have another one of these. Let me see, I need to see the front so I can see where I need one of these guys. I'm gonna add this guy right here. You know, when I worked as a florist, this was one of my favorite things to do. Creating, we used to call it character centerpieces. We put a character in them. So whether it was Santa Claus, an owl, or any type of character, I just love making them because they were the first things to sell, you guys. People really seem to like these characters during the holiday season. And why wouldn't you, right? How cute is this owl? I think it is super cute. All right, so then I have one more of this. So I'm gonna bring it over here. And then I have one more, and so I'm gonna bring it over to this side. Sometimes we can pull out this brown thing, and it is easier to poke than trying to fight the thickness of it. And then I have one more of these. I'm gonna once again swirl it towards me to see where I need this guy, and it's packing up pretty good. I love the way this is looking, but I'm gonna add this guy right here. And I have, this is the last of this guy right here. So I'm gonna add it right here to the back, like that. And I have all of these really cute berries, and these berries I'm going to put really tight into the bird. That's what's gonna start filling in the inside of my centerpiece. And remember to always just go as tight as you can. And I wanna start swirling this around, and just make sure that you put it sideways. Remember, if you put it sideways, then it's going to touch the foam, and it's gonna start to hide that foam, which is at this point what we want. Oh, this one doesn't want to, oh, there you go. Like that, and just continue to go about 80-degree turn every time. So there's that, and so now what I have, let me put this in the trash. What I have is these cute flowers. These are, believe it or not, from the dollar store. These are so cute, and I'm gonna cut them really short to once again go up against the bird and to start covering some of that foam. Remember to cut them short. The shorter you cut, the more you can pull to the foam, and the more it's going to start to hide it. Every time that you see a piece of foam, just go ahead and add that flower, and look how cute that is. It's starting to hide that foam, helping us create a more beautiful and finished look. And I'm gonna add this guy right here to the back. Thumbs up if you guys are enjoying this video. You guys, I have so many Christmas decorating ideas and DIYs. We're just getting started, so I really hope that you are enjoying this video. And remember, last week I shared with you the s'mores Christmas tree. If you have not seen the s'mores Christmas tree, I really recommend, or the traditional one. So far, my favorite has been probably, I want to say the Barbie one, because it was so colorful. It was so not what I do, but you know, sometimes getting out of the box is what makes our creativity spark. And I'm all about trying something new when it comes down to decorating. Look how cute, you guys. Isn't that adorable? Okay, I have a few more. I'm going to add, hey, this one fell out of the stem, but no problem, we'll add it right here. And I have one more that I'm going to add on the other side. See, sometimes saving your items from one season to the next, you just never know where you're going to need them. All right, so far so good. I also love it, but this little bird needs a little pop of color. So I'm gonna get some pop of color in the form of poinsettias and some other items, and I'll be right back. Keep watching. Okay, so far we've added our foam and we added all of these pics of flocked greenery, but I think this bird needs a pop of color. So for that, you guys, at Hobby Lobby, they have these really pics that had an ornament, some holly, some really pretty snow balls, and some berries are red, and I wanted to add some of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, first of all, face it towards me because I want to see where I put it. So I'm going to add this guy right about here, and I'm going to push, and look, just that little pop of red, it really does create a little focal point. And Jameson continues to tell me that every time I put my wire cutters or my scissors down, you can really hear it. So I'm going to try to be careful about it. By the way, thumbs up for Jameson. Jameson, come over here, say hi. Come here, say hi. He has been helping me this season, you guys. If you see the improvement in the videos, it's because Jameson has been helping. Say something to the public.
Helping, it's more of just pressing one button and...
But you give me ideas, you tell me about the things that, you know, need to be careful about and stuff. Right. All right, well, go back to the camera. Exactly. Clap for Jameson, yay. All right, so I'm gonna grab my other bowl right here, and I'm gonna go opposite. Remember, what happens on the right happens on the left. So I'm gonna look for a spot that is opposite. I'm gonna push that right there. And just that little red pop of color is super cute, but because it is Ramon at home, we're gonna keep going, you guys. So I found these bushes at Walmart, which by the way still has the tag. These bushes at Walmart that I also love this poinsettia. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut a few of these poinsettias. They're super cute, and they are the perfect pop of red that we need. And then also it has this berry right here. So there's one. This is what I'm telling you. They try to do equal parts. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put that down over there. I'm going to grab my poinsettia and I'm going to fluff it a little bit. Don't be afraid to fluff your flowers, guys. And then I'm going to go opposite the little red dot that I put right here. I'm going to go like this. And because this is the front, I'm going to add this little berry too right here, like that. I'm gonna grab the second one and I'm gonna go like this, and then I'm gonna start all the way around, and I'm going to do just the poinsettia, but I need to get this tag off because there we go, pestic tags. And then I'm going to grab my poinsettia and I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna put right there. And just like that, we have a beautiful contemporary on a silver compote arrangement. Let me give you a close-up. And here is a close-up of our owl centerpiece. You guys, how absolutely gorgeous is this centerpiece and the silver compote? Just a little touch of red with the poinsettia and this little cluster of ornaments really does add that holiday feel. This owl could be replaced with any character. Like I said, we call these character centerpieces, and or a candle. It is perfect for a tablescape or just for an entryway table. I really hope that you'll learn some tricks and tips on how to create a gorgeous character centerpiece. And if you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and then also be sure to leave me a comment down below and let me know what was your favorite part. All right, let's move on to the next. Okay, before I let you go, after my close-up, I realized that I could see some foam. Here's a few ways to fix that. One of them would be to add a little bit more of this red, but I don't want to get too far away from this cluster right here. So that is a way to cover some of that. The other way would be to add some of this dry moss, and I recommend the gray one because it's going to help. And actually, this is one of my favorite parts about doing fresh flowers. Look at that. You add that little bit of gray moss and it adds texture to your arrangement. Let me see right here. I can see some of that foam. And it covers all of that foam, you guys. So get yourself a bag of little dried up moss. You can find this at Walmart or any craft store. And now you can see all of that pesky florist foam. This is how you create a gorgeous centerpiece for your home this holiday season. Well, as you guys can see, creating a gorgeous centerpiece with a little character, as I like to call them, character centerpiece, was super easy if you follow the step-by-step instructions. Not only you can use a little owl, but you can use a Santa Claus, a candle. It really depends on what your home decor this Christmas is. Now, you guys, I want to take a second to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, because this week we turned 250,000 subscribers here on my YouTube channel. Now, when I started this YouTube channel about 5 years ago, I had no idea that this would grow to the magnitude it is, and it really warms my heart to know there's so many of you who enjoy what we do here at Ramon at Home. So I want to give you a like now myself to you, and then also clap for every single one of you that has shared, liked, and subscribed to this channel, because that's how this channel continues to grow. So I just want to say that we are so thankful and grateful for every single one of you that continues to watch the content, and therefore it continues to give us the opportunity to do what we love, which is share all of these decorating ideas, tips, and tricks to help you create something beautiful for your home. All right, so with that said, I want to sway into the next DIY, which is going to be a beautiful and gorgeous, super easy to make, elegant, and on a budget mantel garland. Let's take a look. All right, you guys, so to create a gorgeous Christmas garland DIY for your mantle, for above a mirror or above a door, there's a few steps that I want to mention before I get started. And that's number one, having your tools at the ready. I have my wire cutters, my scissors, the ribbons that I'm going to be starting with, because that'll be the first step, and also cut up wires. I have already fluffed my garland, which would be step number one, is always to fluff your garland. You want to touch every single bristle. And so the next step would be to also have your lights at the ready. And I'm always telling you that Walmart does have a great selection of lights. They are LED and they are super affordable. And guess what? They will last you a long time because they're LED. Also have a extension cord, so that way I can get started. So let's get started with this beautiful garland DIY for Christmas. Step number one, like I said, I want to fluff my garland. I already went ahead and did that. So step number two is going to be to light it. And I always like to share with you this step. Sorry if I give you my back for a few seconds, because I like to start where my connection is. So I'm going to have my connection right here. And then also what I want to do is I want to do this until I have the first light, and I'm going to attach that to my garland because I don't want to see that green wire hanging off of it. So I'm going to start right here, and then I'm going to grab my lights and I'm going to start zigzagging. And every time I zigzag, I'm going to grab a bristle and I'm going to use that bristle to attach that light so it doesn't move from my garland. It is super easy, but this step can take a few minutes. But if we take the time to do it properly, then when we're done with the holiday season, you can always just pull this string of lights like this and they'll come right out. And of course, I'm going to share with you that when we pack away our Christmas this year, because I do want to share a video with you about how to properly store all of your Christmas, I'm gonna share with you my storage unit for the first time in 5 years. You guys, can you believe I've been doing Christmas here on YouTube for 5 years already? Where has time gone, right? And if you have been here since the beginning, be sure to leave a comment down below and let me know what was the first video you saw here at Ramon at Home. I always love to read your comments. You know that I'm always on the comment section for the first hour when I release a video, answering your comments, talking to you guys. I just love to interact with every single one of you. Okay, I'm gonna cross over to this side. So as you can see, it is super easy. We're going up, grabbing a bristle, pulling that bristle up, then going down. I skip about 4 inches. I go up, I grab a bristle right here. I pull up, that'll hold my lights. Then I skip about 4 inches, then I go up, I pull up. It's very repetitive motion, but this is the way that I found to add lights the easiest, because like I said, you can just pull the string out and the lights will come right out in one string. All right, so I'm gonna finish right here. Just because we got to the end doesn't mean that we have to slack. So all we need to do is go ahead and grab our garland like this and pull it forward. If there is furniture around you like these lamps, then you wanna grab that garland and pull it forward. And then just start doing the zigzag and then grabbing one of the bristles. As you guys can see, I have 100 lights, and 100 lights, it's perfect for a 9-foot garland, which this is a 9-foot garland. And I'm gonna attach right there. Look at that, our lights are ready. So that's step number 2. Remember, step number 1 is to fluff it. You always wanna attach every single bristle from your garlands, your wreaths, and then also your Christmas trees. So now the next step is going to be to add our ribbons. And for that, I'm gonna use the exact same ribbon that we used on our Christmas tree. If you guys have not seen the matching Christmas trees to this, a few weeks ago, I shared with you the Christmas tree, the wreath, and the centerpiece in one video. I'm gonna link it down below so you can take a look at that so you guys can see how it all matches. All right, because I'm gonna start, let's see. I'm gonna start right here in the corner. So I'm gonna pinch like this. Then I'm gonna grab a bristle and I'm going to introduce my garland right here. And then I'm going to come this way and I'm gonna do a swoop. Then I'm going to attach with 2 bristles right here, just crossing them like that. And then I'm gonna do another one right here. And you have to come up with something like this. I'm gonna go over to this side and we need to do the same thing over on this side. So we're gonna do 1 poof, and then I'm gonna leave that tail hanging like that. So then I'm gonna grab my ribbon and I'm gonna do the same on this side. So basically I'm gonna start over on this side. I'm gonna start right here. I'm gonna give it a little bit of a tail right there. I'm gonna go like this, crossing those bristles. I'm gonna do another poof right here. Go like this. I'm gonna do 1 more poof, a little poof right here. I'm gonna go like this. Just grabbing that bristle, twisting it. Look how pretty. And so now I'm gonna go this way. So I'm gonna grab yet another ribbon like this. And I'm gonna introduce it right here. And this, where this one ends, I'm gonna put yet another one right here. And I'm gonna attach. And this is a method if you already cut your ribbons. If these are ribbons that you already used from Christmas past, then you want to reuse them. I'm always telling you at the end of the season to go ahead and just store those ribbons properly. So that way you can do this. You know, you can reuse your ribbons, your ornaments. If you have new ribbon, of course, you can always just cut from your bolt. But look at that. And then I'm gonna go over this side. I'm gonna do yet another one right here, like this. Basically what I want is to have this ribbon all throughout my garland. I'm gonna leave this opening right here for a future dudette that we'll do. And then I'm gonna grab this other one right here, which is a short one. And I'm gonna finish this over here. So I'm gonna start right here, like this. And I'm gonna do another poof over on this side. And I wanna make sure that I have not twin sisters, but for sure sisters, or at least cousins. I'm gonna grab my scissors. I'm gonna cut this right here. I'm gonna cut this guy right here as well. always cutting at a dovetail because that is the most pleasing to the eye. I'm gonna leave this opening right here, making sure that all of my ribbons that show are dovetailed. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this beautiful ribbon, which is in a bolt. I'm just gonna drop it on the floor. And for this one, what I want to do is I wanna do some bows. So I'm gonna cut out a dovetail. And you guys know that I have a super easy step, whether I'm decorating a Christmas tree or whether I'm decorating a garland or a wreath, which is ribbons first, ornaments second, picks, stems, and florals third, and then at the end we add accent ribbons, accent ornaments, accent poinsettias, just the more luxurious items that you may have, that you may want to add to your garland. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab this cute little bow in gold, which is the one that we use on the centerpiece, and I'm going to attach this right here where we added our bow. Then we're going to do a swoop right here, about the same size as this, and I'm gonna attach with my bristle like this. I'm gonna go ahead and do, you kind of have to run your hand under it to give it that body that it needs. I'm gonna attach right here, giving that poof like that. And then I'm gonna cut right here. I'm gonna cut a long tail like that. And then I'm gonna go over to this side because remember, I'm always telling you that what happens on the left happens on the right. You guys, I wanna tell you a story of what happened to me today. So every morning I go on a walk, and this day every morning I get up and read my Bible, drink my coffee. And today's verse was about one of my favorite verses, which talks about the shepherds and how they didn't do their job right. If you haven't read it, I really recommend it. Hang on, let me bring my Bible real quick. It's right here. It is, let me see. It is Ezekiel 34. I really recommend you read Ezekiel 34, which talks about the shepherds and the sheep. And so I went on a walk, and I'm gonna add my bow right here, exactly where I put on the other side. And I'm gonna start doing the same loops, basically at the same point where these ones are, with ending on a tail. But I do wanna tell you this story. So I went on a walk, and there was this homeless guy just sitting there. There's a lot of homelessness here in California, unfortunately. I wanna say it's almost like an epidemic of homelessness. And so there was this homeless guy, and I was just on my walk, and something inside of me, which I do not recognize, is the Holy Spirit. You know, when the Holy Spirit talks to you, you feel something. And there was something inside of me that told me to speak to this gentleman. And so on my way back, I spoke to this gentleman, and I was talking to him, and he told me his life story and how he ended up homeless and such. And on my way, the point is, like, on my way back from my walk, I just said, God, if this is something you want me to do, just give me a sign that, you know, I should sit down and speak to this gentleman. And so something told me inside to just go ahead and do it. And so I did it. I started talking to him, and he told me the story how he was homeless and all these things. And then he's like, yeah, but I read my Bible every day. And I just, like, I knew that was the answer that I've been looking for. And then I said, oh, really? I said, what is your favorite Bible verse? And then he says, Psalm 23. And that really stopped me in my tracks, because when I was a kid, and I told him this story, when I was a kid and we used to go to church, on Sundays we'd have Sunday school, and they'd separate all the kids from the adults. And then we'd have like our own kiddie Sunday school while the adults had their own Sunday school. And then at the end of the service, they would bring the kids back where the adults were, and then we'd sing like a worship song or a song. And then at the end, every single kid would be on a row like this, and every single kid would say their Bible verse, their favorite Bible verse. Well, my favorite Bible verse, Psalm 23:1, and this gentleman is basically reciting me this psalm. So I took it as an answer, you know, that I was supposed to talk to this gentleman. And we started talking, and then he's telling me about why he ended up homeless and all these things. And I was just like, wow, life, it's so unpredictable, you know. And then he's like, I've been praying for somebody to stop and help me buy a tent. He's like, they're only $31. And so we started talking. I told him, well, you know, God does answer prayer. He's like, I've been praying for a tent. And so I just looked in my wallet and I gave him what I had on my wallet. And then he's like, oh my gosh, he's like, I cannot believe it. He's like, this is exactly what I needed to buy my tent. And that really, like, I started, like, I just say bye, and then I started walking back to go home, and I could not stop crying because something inside of me said to stop and speak to this gentleman. And then now I recognize that it's because I had what he needed and he'd been praying for it. And so that just shook me to my core. And so I sobbed the whole way home. And so I just thought I'd share with you, because I think that sometimes we just have to sit there and realize how blessed we are, you know, like that's what I was thinking, is like how blessed I am to have a roof over my head, to have you guys, to watch the videos, and to be able to do things for people. And so sometimes I take that for granted. And so I knew that I needed that interaction this morning with this gentleman to remind me of how blessed I truly am, to do what I love, to have a home, to have my family, to have every single one of you is just such a blessing to me. And so I want you to know that this is not something that I take for granted. And so I thank you from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to do things like this. So thank you. All right, so now that's our second ribbon. We're going to add a third ribbon, which is going to be a plaid one, because remember that Christmas tree had a plaid ribbon. So I found this beautiful plaid ribbon at Walmart, and it's so cute. I love it because it's traditional. And for this one, what we're going to do is we're going to do 3 loop bows like this. And you guys, look how easy it is to really make a bow. And every single bow has to be at a different length. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a wire right here. Remember, always having your tools at the ready. And so I'm going to attach this bow right here, basically like that. And for this one, I just want to go ahead and do longer tails. Let them hang, let them be happy. I'm gonna do it one more time right here. And remember, what happens on the right happens on the left. So we're going to pinch right here. Then we're going to do 1, 2, another one. And remember all the loops to be at different lengths, because that makes the loop, that makes the bow look more loopier. And so it looks more textured. That's what I'm trying to say. When you do different loops, then it just adds more texture to your garland. I'm gonna touch this guy right here. And remember to just go ahead and give that some long tails to let it hang like that. We want it to be super, super loopy, because I think that adds so much character to your garlands, to your wreaths. Remember, you guys, when I did last year the epic Christmas tree for my window? If you have not seen that Christmas wreath for the window last year, oh my gosh, you really need to go check it out. It was so much fun. All right, so now I'm gonna grab another wire, and I'm going to go back, and then I'm going to attach this guy right here like this. And then I'm going to cut a longer tail like that. So far we have 3 bows. We have loops of gold and the beautiful designer ribbon. I'm going to add a few more of these plaid bows to the sides, and then I'll be right back with you guys to give you the next step. So keep watching. You're not going to be disappointed, I promise. All right, everyone, so we are almost done with this beautiful plaid ribbon. I should mention again, it's from Walmart. I am obsessed. To me, nothing screams Christmas like this beautiful tartan plaid, especially this classic red and green one. It goes so well with your wreaths and your garlands and your Christmas tree, because it has the classic red and then also that beautiful green. So I'm going to do, oh, you'll see, I'm almost done with it. I'm gonna do a 3-loop bow, and I'm just gonna finish over on the other side, because it's the last bow I'm going to add. So I'm gonna add it right about here, facing this way. I'm gonna grab a bristle, and I'm going to twist that wire into the bristle, and I'm going to do a long loop tail like this. And look how absolutely beautiful this looks. This could really just stop right there, but it's Ramon at home, so you know we're not gonna stop right there. And for that, I have 2 baskets of ornaments that I'm going to be adding to this beautiful design. I'm gonna get them close to me right here. I'm gonna also put my scissors back where I can see them, because at this point, if you could just see the mess I have right here, but hey, you know they say it gets ugly before it gets pretty. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab some of these red ornaments, and I'm gonna start adding them to my design right here. So I'm gonna start right on this side. Remember, what happens on the right happens on the left. Now some of them do have a wire, some of them do not, but don't be afraid to just stick that wire in there, go up, cross it, twist, and now you have a stem. So now I'm gonna put this guy right here. I'm gonna go through here. And remember, don't be afraid to flatten those ribbons as you work, and then at the end we'll go back and readjust all of that. And then I'm going to add a red one right here, dead center in the middle. And I'm gonna do it as tight as I can, so that way it looks like it's growing from the garland. So now I'm gonna move on to the gold ones. Now the gold ones are a little bit smaller than the red ones because you wanna have a difference in not only sizes, but textures, finishes, so that way it looks more finished. So I'm gonna add one right here, right next to it. Remember that by clumping them together like that, you are creating a beautiful focal point on your garland. So I'm gonna add one right here, like that. And then I'm gonna bring another gold one. For this one, I want to be a matchy one. So I'm gonna put this one right here. And look, you guys, just 6 ornaments really starts to fill in your garland, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab some of these gold ones and I'm going to go into my garland in between the red ones, and I'll explain why. So right here you have a big red one, right here you have a big red one. So now we're going to go in between those two. So I'm gonna go over that side. Then I'm gonna grab another one and I'm gonna put it on this side. Remember, what happens on the right always happens on the left. So therefore I'm going to grab this guy right here and I'm gonna go through here. I'm gonna pull, I wanna be able to see it. So right about there, I'm gonna add this guy right here like that. See how we have now a motion pattern right here that is swirling all throughout. So I'm gonna swap to a red one. So now I'm going to grab an even smaller red one, smaller than that last gold one that we had, and now we're going to do the same. We're going to cluster those two together by putting them together like that. Yet again, another one. So I'm gonna put one right here, and then we'll fluff this ribbon a little bit. And so now what I want to do is I'm gonna grab a gold one and I have to go all the way to my tails. Remember, we have to bring the same element all throughout. So I'm gonna add a gold one right there. And while I'm here, I'm gonna add a red one right next to it. Right next to it. Right there. And so now that has brought all the ornaments all the way down and all the way around. So now I'm going to go over to this side. Sorry if I cross you again. I'm gonna sit on this couch and I'm gonna grab this guy right here. Swirl it real quick. And then I'm gonna grab a red one that already has a wire. I'm gonna put it right next to it. And look at these, you guys. How absolutely gorgeous this looks just with ornaments and ribbons. But of course we're not done because this is Ramon at home. So what I want to do is I'm gonna continue adding some of these ornaments right here randomly, a red one, a gold one, a red one, a gold one, but making sure that what I do on one side, I go to the next side and do it because we want to maintain that balance. Like that. See how I put a gold one right here? So now I have to go ahead and put a gold one right in here. I'm gonna add it through. So I want it to be right in here. Like that. Grabbing a bristle. And then now, of course, I want to put a red one right next to it. Going like that. All right, so I have a few gold ones that I'm going to add. I'm just going to grab random places like that right here. Especially where the focal points are. And this one still has a tag, so we're going to make sure that we cut that. And grab a wire and poke it through. Thumbs up if you guys are enjoying this video. Be sure to share with your friends on Instagram, on Facebook, on WhatsApp, and invite them to come and join us. We're just getting started, and I promise you the Christmas season 2023 is going to be the best one yet. I'm super excited to bring you all brand new Christmas DIYs, and I just hope that you are, well, as excited as I am to do all of this for Christmas. Right, so I have a few red ones left, just 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this off by adding this guy right here, like that. And then this one also does not have wire. And if you guys see me always doing this, is because I want to make sure that I know where I need to place this ornament, like right here. It's more of an open space. And look at that, how absolutely gorgeous that is, you guys. This is all ribbons and ornaments and a garland with lights. You could stop right here, literally, but you know we have our pick stems and florals. So we're gonna get those ready and I'll be right back with you to share with you the next step. Keep watching. Well, in the words of Matthew McConaughey, all right, we're almost there. So what we're going to do is we're going to add our stems. We have some berries, we have some eucalyptus that is red, and then also we have our beautiful flocked boxwood. So I'm gonna start with this guy right here. And so what I want to do is I'm gonna go ahead and add one right here on my focal point, and you wanna make sure that you go like that. Look how much texture that gives, and because it has that red berry, you guys, it really adds so much to it. And when you add this particular one, you want to make sure that you add, let me show you real quick. So this stem has a glitter point to right here. So from right here to right here is where you insert, and from right here onward, that's where you display. Why? Because that is what we call in the industry your money maker. You don't want to hide all of this, because look, you're already missing about 5 to 6 inches of beauty that you're inserting into your tree or your garland. So you want to make sure that you let these ones outfly as possible, as much possible. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one step forward, like right here, and we're going to add another one. And remember, what happens on the left happens on the right. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over to this side, and I'm going to insert another one right here. And remember to let them spill forward. We want to make sure that they spill forward like this, so that way they give us some girthing to our garland. And we're going to go right here in the middle, like that. Look at that. And then because I went up, what do we say? What goes up must come down. So I'm gonna put one right here in the same spot, and that's going to be our middle. Look at that, okay? So then I have 2 left, one I dropped. I'm gonna go to the corners, because remember, we do not let the corners undecorated. A lot of people tend to do that. They just forget about the corners. They put all the material and then they forget about the corners. But look, by adding that, we just brought all of the same elements all throughout. And I'm gonna explain something. I'd rather skip right here, because in the perfect world, I would put another one right here. But because I don't have enough to do the ends and then another one, but we still have some other picks to add. So I'm going to skip that little area right there. I'm gonna grab my tail. I'm gonna add one of these picks all the way up like that. Look at that. So now we have all the materials going all the same way. So now I have this red eucalyptus. So I have 1, 2. Remember, I like to put them on my hand so I know how many. 3, 4, 5. I have 6 large ones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start over on this side. Remember how I ended that way, and I didn't have another one to finish. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one of these red ones right here. So I'm gonna go through like that. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna skip over to this side, because what happens on the right happens on the left. And you know what, at this point I feel like I do need to cut these ones a little bit shorter. So I'm gonna go right here, like that. Don't be afraid to cut your stems, you guys. And if you're going to cut right where the glitter ends, or like about 2 inches the other way. Remember, we're gonna go over to this side now, and I'm gonna cut another one, and I'm gonna put it over on this side, right at my focal point. And then we're going to grab another one, and I'm gonna make one face down, because we want all of the same elements. And I'm going to, because this one's facing this way, I'm gonna grab mine and I'm gonna put it facing this other way, right in here. So now we have both ways. And then also don't forget to end your end right here. So you want to kind of push forward a little bit, and then we're going to add this one right about here. You can grab a bristle and just twist in between to hold it right there. And I do have another one for this side over here, like that. Look at that. So now we have all of these beautiful garland, and I have all of these berries I also want to add, which are like a matte gold with a little bit of silver, and I just absolutely love them. So I'm gonna add one right here, At this point, you just want to alternate. Look at that. How absolutely stunning is this one, you guys? It just adds so much texture to it. I'm gonna add this guy right here. So for a focal point. And then I'm going to go all the way to my focal point, and I'm going to add another one of those over on this side. And then I'm going to go over to this side and add yet another one right here. And I have two left, and guess what they're for? They're for facing down. So now we're going to add right here. Making sure that I go through the garland so it stays. And then I'm gonna go over to this side. I'm gonna go over to this side. Look at that, how pretty is that? All right, so now I'm gonna get my florals ready. Keep watching. Okay, so we're going to add some of these beautiful sugar poinsettias, and I'm just gonna pick randomly like right here. Now this is gonna help us cover some of those holes that are left in your design, but that's okay because that's why we have these beautiful items to insert like right here. And just make sure that you go through the garland so that poinsettia really sticks where it needs to stay. And you can also grab a bristle and just twist it around into your poinsettia if you needed to hold it even better. So then I have 3. We're gonna add a 4th one over here on this focal point right there, and then we're going to move over to the other side. And this is going to be the only item that I do not put on the ends because you will not see them, so don't waste your poinsettia. Also, we need to know where to stop, so we're going to add one up here like that. I'm gonna push this guy for a little bit like that. So that so far is what we have. And so that would be our third step. So let's recap real quick. Number 1 is going to be to fluff your garland always. Number 2 is going to be to add your ribbons. In this case, we added the beautiful velvet ribbon, and then also this plaid ribbon and the gold ribbon right here, and this beautiful scripted velvet ribbon right here. After that, I added the ornaments, which we made clusters with, and then we just alternated the colors, so it looks very traditional. Then after that, we added our picks and stems and then our florals. And so now our last step is going to be to add our accent ribbon. And for that, remember I chose this beautiful bejeweled ribbon that has all of these jewels, and I have cut it like this to do just one single loop with a tail going up and a longer tail going down. And so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add some of this beautiful ribbon, just attaching to my garland right here, swirling it. So you want to make sure that you see that tail going down like that. That's why you want to leave a longer tail going down, because you want to make sure to curl it. So that way it shows all of those beautiful jewels that this ribbon has to offer. I'm going to add another one right here, curling that down. Let's see, I'm going to go over to this side and I'm going to add one right here, right by my poinsettia, without disturbing the poinsettia. You want to find places where you might want to like put that ribbon so it shows like that. Look how beautiful that just catches the light and it screams holiday. So I'm gonna do yet another one right here with this guy. So I'm gonna go about 4 inches tail up, then I go like this, and then when you do that, this is really thick and it has jewels, so you have to be really careful like that. And then I'm going to grab a wire. I'm gonna pull this really, really tight. And look, you're left with this loop, like I said, a tail going up and a beautiful tail going down. So we have 1, 2, 3. So now I want to add another one over on this side, 4. We're gonna add it right here. I'm gonna move this ornament a little bit. I'm gonna insert. Then I'm gonna grab a bristle and attach, and I'm just gonna let that bejeweled ribbon hang, and look how absolutely stunning. So now I'm gonna finish the fireplace and I'm gonna give you a close-up, so keep watching. All right, everyone, so I just thought I'd give you a quick close-up of this absolutely gorgeous garland for your mantle using some of this beautiful bejeweled ribbon. You guys, this is so pretty, and as you can see, it's just a little accent. I also want to share with you a close-up of these beautiful poinsettias from Hobby Lobby. As you can see, there is not very many elements on this garland, but what makes it really lavish is the combination of the red and the gold and the way that it was assembled. And I just want to let you know that you too can have an absolutely gorgeous garland like this, whether it's on the mantle, above a door, or a mirror. It is super easy to make if you just follow the instructions on how to create the most wonderful garland for your fireplace. What do you guys think? As you guys can see, creating a gorgeous garland is super easy if you follow these step-by-step instructions. But now I want to share with you our last DIY for this Christmas video, and that's going to be a gorgeous, super simple and on a budget wreath that if I can make, trust me when I tell you this, anyone can. But before we go back to the studio, I want to ask for you to give this video a thumbs up and share with your friends on Facebook, on Instagram, and on WhatsApp, because that is free and it really helps this channel. And then also I want to give Jameson another clap for helping around this season, because it really has been helpful. So be sure to give Jameson some thumbs up on the comment section below. All right, let's go back into the studio and show you how to create a gorgeous, super simple wreath for your front door. All right, you guys, so for our last Christmas DIY, what I want to do is share with you how you can embellish a pre-made wreath. This is a gorgeous David Christopher's wreath, and look how absolutely stunning this is, you guys. We have to find the shape, and what you need to do is just give a little bit of a fluff, because they come pretty flat like a pancake when they come on the box. And so we just have to make sure that we grab every single flocked stem and then just give it a little bit of a pull going one way around. Remember, you have to fluff your wreaths going clock motion or counterclock motion, but just one of them. Pick and choose, because that's what is going to give us the more natural look. And look, just by touching and pulling up, this wreath already looks absolutely more full and gorgeous. So we're going to touch every single one of them just to share with you how quick it really is. And now I'm going to look at it and see what is going to be my bottom. So that's going to be my bottom. So I'm going to put my wreath right there, and this is going to be the bottom right here. Look how absolutely stunning that wreath is. By the way, I'm going to leave David Christopher's information down below. Remember, they're offering you 10% off with the code Ramon10 on all your purchase throughout their whole website. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to embellish this wreath because it's already gorgeous, so we don't need much, and I wanted to match our centerpiece with the owl. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my owl, and I'm going to get a wire, and it says a pre-taped wire that I had already pre-taped, and I've shared with you guys so many times how to wire a tape. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of them, and I'm going to put it through my bird's foot like this, and then I'm going to do the second one, and I'm going to grab and put it through my bird's foot like so. Do you guys remember when I used to say like so all the time, and people used to give me so much grief of it? You said like so. I finally got out of that funk. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my bird right here. I'm going to put my hand through, and I'm going to find a way to stick my bird right into my wreath. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these wires that I put in to attach to one of the bristles right here, just by twisting that bristle. And I'm going to do the same with the back, and you can always pull like this. So that's gonna keep our bird right there. That's our first step. So now what we're going to do is we're gonna grab some ribbon. You guys, look how absolutely stunning this ribbon for our wreath is. It is bejeweled. It looks like Dorothy's slippers. It has all of these sequences, just absolutely stunning. I love it. And then I have this other ribbon. It's a little less expensive. That's gonna be our middle ribbon. It's this candy cane, because I want it to be like the centerpiece, to just have that pop of color. And then I have this other bejeweled ribbon in silver, and it's going to be so elegant. So you really don't need a lot of elements, as long as these elements are high-end and expensive looking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch right here. I'm going to give it a tail, and then I'm going to go down. I want these loops to be really big, because it's just going to be basically a bow and a bird. Hey, I like that, a bow and a bird. That could be a movie. So I'm gonna do 3 loops like this, and then I'm going to let that tail hang down. That's gonna be right there. And then on top of that, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab my other ribbon like this. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna give it a little tail, like so. And I'm gonna give it another tail. So that's gonna be our second tail, like that. We'll dovetail in a second. And then what I'm going to do is grab another one of these right here. So I'm gonna give it another tail, like this. Right here, without letting go of my core. This is my core right here. And remember, I'm not letting go, and basically I'm hanging on with my thumb and this index finger right here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do some other loops like this. And then I'm going to go the opposite side like this. And I'm going to do just two, and then I'm gonna leave another tail like that. So now I have 3 tails, 4 loops, accent ribbon, main ribbon. And now I'm going to introduce this guy right here, which is the bejeweled one, and I'm gonna put it facing forward like this. I'm gonna give me another tail, and then I'm going to do loops with this ribbon. I'm gonna have 1. Look how easy it is. Anyone can do it. Jameson, do you think you can do it? Do you remember last year I shared with you how Jameson did a bow, and it was so much, we had so much fun. Sometimes we watch that video just to get a kick out of it, because we had so much fun doing that. Right, so I'm gonna do another one right here. I wanna see how much tail I have. And then I'm going to do yet another one right here, pulling forward. And so now this is going to be my longer tail. It's a very, very pretty bow. And now I'm gonna grab a wire, and I'm gonna go through all of this. And it is a pre-taped wire. Remember, you guys, I'm always telling you to tape your wire so that way you can, look, really pull without hurting your fingers. So we're gonna go back and pull really tight. And I'm going to cinch really tight. You could also do a zip tie if you wanted to. And so now what we can do is fluff this bow like this. We can see all of the tails. Look how cute and simple this is. So now I'm gonna put it down to dovetail all of my ends, because remember, I'm always telling you, if I come to your house and your wreath has undovetailed ribbons, I'm going to ask you for a pair of scissors so that I can do it for you. All right, and I love the combination of these ribbons because it has enough silver, enough red. Let me see, I want this to be a longer one. You can also always wait to dovetail your ribbons when it's hanging on the door, so that way you know exactly the length. And this particular one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a little bit of a curl. And look what happens when you have a good quality ribbon, you guys. Just by curling it like this, it's going to stay exactly where I put it. Like this. Just give it a little curl. Look how stunning of a ribbon. Isn't that gorgeous? And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my wires right here, and I'm going to attach right where my bird is, going through his little paws. It's not paws, what is it? It's talons? Talons. It's verified by our fact checker, Jameson. You guys, we've been having so much fun this holiday season, just sharing with you guys all of these DIYs. I really think Jameson's finally getting off of his, I'm too shy. All right, so I'm gonna go all the way back. I'm gonna attach this. I'm gonna have to take it off the stand, so let me attach this real quick and I'll be right back with you. Keep watching. All right, so I added my bow, I fluffed my wreath, and I added my gorgeous little owl that matches our centerpiece so well. So now it looks like he has dandruff with all of the flocking. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it to the door and share with you guys a close-up. Keep watching. All right, you guys, so I want to give you a close-up of this super cute Christmas wreath. Look how simple it is to create a gorgeous statement on your front door. All you need is some really good quality wreath and ribbons. I want to share the details of this ribbon right here. Absolutely stunning. Look at that. When that catches the light, it is so pretty. And this one, you guys, look at all of the jewels. And as you can see, there is not much of it. It's just a little touch, and it really does create a festive look with all of the white and the red and all of the glittering and all of the jewels and stone, and of course the little owl. It is so cute, absolutely adorable, and I really hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. So what do you guys think? Wasn't this DIY super easy to make? I am telling you, having a cohesive home, it really is about having all the same elements throughout the home. And I'm trying my best to bring you guys different DIYs and ideas for Christmas this year. I would appreciate if you leave me a comment down below and let me know what was your favorite project in this video. And then also don't forget to like this video and share with your friends, because that is free and it really helps this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Consider subscribing, and as always, you can watch more videos right now. Until next time. Bye.